Good afternoon. My name is Jason Keane, and I have a quick question for you. Do you guys ever remember that individual that directly impacted your life, and without them, you would not be where you are today? Well, today I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about that person, actually in my story. The story today I'm going to talk to you is about me, Jason Keane. I'm going to tell you about where I'm from, where I was born, where I was brought up, where I was raised, and then secondly, I'm going to talk about where I started my career, where I was at to start that career, and some of the things I went through. Finally, I'm going to discuss where I am today and some of the plans I have for the future and how I plan on getting there. Without no further ado, let's talk about how I was born in the South but raised a Yankee. I was born in Charleston, South Carolina, March 1st, 1974, on a naval base. My dad was in the United States Navy, and that just happened to be where he was when I was born. He retired, though, in New England, in a town called Ledford, Connecticut. So from the time I was 7 years old until I graduated high school and started my career is where I was raised. I was raised in New England. The start of my career into the United States Air Force was because of a certain individual. An individual that decided I was going to go down and talk to a recruiter, an Air Force recruiter, which was unheard of because no one wanted to join the Air Force because we thought everybody in the Air Force flew planes. Well, her name was Kim Ritchie. She went down there, talked to a recruiter, pulled me along because I was her boyfriend, just to make sure no one would, talk her into signing things she didn't want to sign. She decided she did not want to join the Air Force. I, however, decided I did want to join the Air Force. So a couple months later, I signed the paperwork and left for boot camp out of Springfield, Massachusetts to San Antonio, Texas. That individual who helped me in my life was that girl in that recruiting station. Who went to that recruiting station and made me go. Her name is Kim Keane today. That's my wife. So she directly impacted my life. Someone in our life always does. There's that one person. But that's why the next part of the story brings me to San Antonio, Texas at 2 in the morning. That's where the gateway to the Air Force is. That's where I went to boot camp. I went to boot camp for 6.5 weeks, and after those 6.5 weeks, I went to my technical school to become a firefighter. After going to firefighting school for 13 weeks, I started my first career station at Whiteman Air Force Base in Knob Noster, Missouri. That's where me and my wife started our life together, in Knob Noster, Missouri. Yes, I didn't stutter, Knob Noster, Missouri. For 11 years, I was a fireman there on that base. When I was working in the Air Force, doing my fire department stuff, going overseas, etc., my wife went to college at University of Missouri and received her degree in biology and chemistry, master's in biology, as a matter of fact. So when it came time for her to start her career, my time was getting done to my next assignment, and we looked towards California because there's a lot of opportunity for her there. I heard about recruiting and knew you could pick cities instead of bases because there's not a lot of bases available in specific areas, so I volunteered for recruiting. And that's how I got to where I am today. So through my wife's career progress and career path, we both got to California, and that's how I became a recruiter. And that brings me to the final part of the story, Air Force recruiting, and where I am today in that and where I plan to be in the future. I've been a recruiter in the United States Air Force for approximately 6 years now. 4 of that were street recruiting, and the last 2 have been as a MEPS liaison supervisor. MEPS is where people join the Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, regardless of the branch, they get their physicals, tests, and then they go to boot camp from there. And like I said, I've been there for 2 years. Finally, what am I going to do in the future? Where does my retirement hold me? What are my plans? Where do I plan on being? That's the last part of the story. I've been in the Air Force for 17 years. Blink of an eye. I've got 3 more years till I hit 20, then I can retire. So my plan is to finish my degree, use the experience I've learned in the Air Force, those life experiences through that, and me and my wife will stay in California. She can start her career or finish her career, and maybe I'll just sit on the beach drinking a beer in my flip-flops watching my kids get older. That's what my plan is. I might retire at 20. We don't know. So in conclusion, today I talked to you about myself, Jason Keane, where I was born, where I was raised. Then I talked about how I joined the Air Force, that certain person that had an impact in my life to get in the Air Force. Finally, some experiences as a fireman, and then the conclusion was where I was currently at, which is in the East Bay of California in the MEPS station working for the Air Force. So hopefully that gives you a little insight to who I am. All of you have a great class. Good luck with your public speaking. Have a good day.